Good evening, race fans, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Area 51 Xfinity Super Speedway Series here on Thursday nights, here on Green White Checker TV. We've got 75 laps at Daytona International Speedway on deck. Lots of action. One of the original Super Speedway racetracks. Um, Very exciting to be back in Daytona. Obviously, race wins, sometimes mean a little bit more at such an iconic raceway, and should be a lot of fun here as we come here for the second time this season, and lots heating up as far as that playoff battle goes, and we'll be sure to check in on that as we get into the night. But we'll be ready for again 75 laps, and yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed the off week, and we're back. We've got a couple weeks of action here before I think we got another off week coming up here soon, but we've
Oh,
got about halfway through the season so far, and getting ready to ramp up as the playoffs get closer here, Matt.
I enjoyed my off week. I truly did. Most of these other guys need a little bit of break from it. Uh, I know I needed it, especially from the indie series we run. Like I said, I wish we could still broadcast it, but it is what it is. Hopefully, some news here pretty soon because I've been seeing we got the new NASCAR license iRacing has acquired over that time off too.
Yeah, definitely exciting news for sure. But we've got some more action to cover here at Area 51 before we get into the thick of tonight. We're going to pull up the points situation as we have before or coming into tonight here. There it is, the standings on your screen. Gabe Butler in that number 88 machine is atop the standings with 171 points. Maxwell Caldwell second place with 149 on down through the list. Jack Walls, Bud Steele, Kevin Freese currently in the top five, solidly locked in the playoff positions at the moment. Dean Wilkinson, Brandon Paul, Eric Laurie, Jim Brooks, and Andrew Pileshi are there in your top 10. And we are definitely looking to see. It's going to be about, I think we'll have our cutoff for the playoffs at 12 drivers, and you can see how crazy that point battle is at that cutoff line. Corey Buskirk just 1 point over Brian Wing and Jeremy Osborne, 2 points over Austin Call, 5 points over Ambrose Kniebel, and Carl Lingle only 1 point to the good, 3 points to the good for Andrew Pleshy there in 10th. And things are definitely going to ramp up, but we've still got tonight iRacing Super Speedway in 1 week, and then Talladega in 4 weeks before we get to Atlanta in November 16th. Will be our first race of the playoffs, and we'll be looking forward to all that action. But for now, we've got cars heading to the grid, and we are going to get ready to call the race. What are you looking forward to, or what are you looking at the most here tonight for this one, Matt?
Oh, what am I looking forward to? I'm looking at guys who are starting toward the back of this. Uh, During our Sunday series, Charles Johnson made a really good impact. Too bad he picked up that pit road penalty at the end of the race. I know Seth Gruber is in here tonight, and he will be a big factor here as well. So look for those guys starting in the back to make an impact up toward the front. Probably, actually, probably about early in this race.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. 75 laps is the scheduled distance for the evening. And Gabe Butler is going to roll off there in that number 88 Guinness machine. He is going to grab the pole. Everett Lane to his outside in the number 24 machine. Just 16 thousandths slower on his qualifying lap to grab the outside pole. Eric Laurie, teammate to Gabe Butler, is going to start right behind him in the 071 machine. Rick Sanchez in the 510 to the outside of row number 2. Gary Jenkins' last car in the top 5 with Les Levy to his outside for Checkered Flag Motorsports. Bud Steele and Ryan Decker are going to make up the fourth starting row for your evening, and Jeremy Osborne as well as Nick Wing are going to round out that top 10 for tonight. Jack Walls and Maxwell Caldwell find themselves in the sixth starting row for the evening, and we will keep rolling through the grid here as Corey Buskirk found himself in the 13th qualifying position with Robert Jordan in the 74 machine to his outside. Carl Engel rounding out the top 15, and Brandon Paul outside row number 8. inside on row 17, last qualifier on time, Jerry Bergeron, with Seth Gruber being the first driver to not take a time for the evening, followed by Charles Johnson, Bob Fitzgerald, and Dean Wilkinson. Some of those names towards the back of the pack that you mentioned, Matt, will be looking to see how they get through this pack and get up to the front here tonight.
Oh, it's gonna be fun watching them go through the field here. Got some nice little paint schemes. I'm actually looking through it down here. See, who is that driving that? What car number is that? Gary Jenkins? I kind of like that little gold paint scheme. Look, Texaco. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Little
It's a
black and
nice
white, little
little.
gold.
Yeah, it is nice new paint schemes. Anyway, speaking of paint schemes, the pace scheme of the pace truck is pulling off, and we're about to go green here.
Yes, we are. The 88 machine is going to roll through the Geico restart zone, and we are going to get this race underway. Start of lap number 1 here at Daytona for, again, the Area 51 Xfinity Super Speedway Series. See if Gabe can get this point lead, this bonus point. He already got 1 bonus point in the championship, extending that lead as he grabs the pole. He's going to try and get another bonus point here to be the first one to lead a lap, and we'll have to wait and see. I know his MO has typically been to get that lap led and then get out of Dodge, and we'll have to wait and see if he's going to do that again, as we are double file action throughout the pack. It looks like Everett Lane's got out to a big run at the top there. He's going to shut the door on the 88, jump down to the bottom, and that's going to leave the 510 of Rick Sanchez first car in the outside lane.
Yeah, the past couple of weeks, Rick's had some very bad luck. Hopefully, he can turn his luck around. He is way overdue for a win, leading a lots of laps. It's been shame, but he's been running to bad luck. Like I said, hopefully he can close the deal here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see here as he looks to be strong, as he's got a pretty solid starting position. But as of right now, not a lot of help there that he's getting in that outside lane. He's fallen back quite a bit. That inside lane is definitely way more organized as it sits right now, and there's about 4 or 5 cars that are broken away on the inside lane.
Well, especially if you got a pusher like Gabe Butler, who's been pretty much unbeatable with these cars. If I remember correctly, last time we run these cars on the Sunday Series is the last time I broadcast with you on a Thursday. I think so.
Yeah, definitely Gabe Butler showing his skill in all forms of super speedway racing that we have here around the league at Area 51, and still pushing the 24 machine of Everett Lane, as there's now about a 6-car breakaway as the 510 of Rick Sanchez is going to get down to the bottom just behind Bud Steele. So that is now 6 cars, almost 7 cars as you look back to Everett Lane trying to get clear on the bottom there. But that outside lane has not formed at whatsoever here at the beginning of this one. It looks like Les Levy is the first car in the outside lane trying to make something happen. He's getting a push from the 48 machine of Ryan Decker at the moment. See what they can try to do to get back up towards the front of this pack, as Everett Lane continues to lead every lap, and this one 3 in the books, 4 underway. Early
Hey,
on, go ahead.
Hey, you remember when I said Charles Johnson and the 32 of Seth Grew, they're going to make their way through the field? I lied to you. You're just hanging out to the back.
So far, yeah, just kind of hanging out in the back. We got Seth Gruber, a new number for him in the 32 machine this week, McDonald's car.
Yeah, I'm missing his brother. His brother's got the other McDonald's pace game, if I believe correctly. I don't remember call, but hopefully his mom will, or his brother will appear in the chat.
A little bit of a bubble there for the 94 machine of Maxwell Caldwell as he gets through the trioval there, just running right behind Nick Wing in that number 28 machine, but they are going to stay straight and keep going. A little bit of a broken up pack there in the inside lane, a couple cars back, as the 6 is now disconnected from Rick Sanchez. But there's a good effort from the 62 machine of Les Levy to get up to the front, getting a great push now from the 48 machine of Ryan Decker, trying to get those cars up to the front, see if they can get a lap led. Everett Lane leading all of them so far, obviously still quite early on in this one.
I'm reading in the chat here. I'm seeing Chris Matthews, our fellow broadcaster, is saying there's going to be a first time winner. I love first time winners.
First time winners are plenty of fun.
Uh, if I was going to pick a first time winner, I don't think Robert Jordan has got a win here yet.
Okay.
Nicholas Swing, 28, sitting there hanging out.
Yeah.
In a Texaco Haviland scheme.
And unfortunately, don't think I've been around long enough to try and call out someone who hasn't won yet.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't think Richard Sanchez has got a win here yet.
Maybe not on Thursday nights, but I think he does for sure in the league.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I have to look that up. I'm gonna do some reference work on that one.
Regardless, at front, the
Yeah, I was
24
gonna say.
machine continues to lead with the 88 machine still pushing on that inside lane. That has not changed since the first lap of the race. Leslie trying to do what he can to get ahead. He's getting a good push still from the 48 machine of Ryan Decker, and he's going to get down to the bottom and clear and should be able to lead this lap unless the 94 machine and the 48 machine have enough to say about that. As big push for the Maxwell Caldwell machine.
Yeah.
Just trying to get all over the back bumper of that 48. Try and get a lap led, but I think it's going to be given to the 62 of Les Levy. 1 bonus point for him in the championship standings.
It's good to see Max. Me and him have our fresh battles back then. It's all good, all fun, but it's good to see Max back in the car with these restrictor plates. Doing pretty good. Trying to push the 48 up to the lead. Maybe might get there. No, just not clear enough.
Enough of a run down the backstretch, so it's going to be Les Levy still leading that inside lane, then the 24, then the 88, the 071 machines on the inside lane. There's a little bit of a separation. There's some trying to go high, trying to go low, trying to see what they can make happen.
Hey, remember who I talked about earlier? He's kind of made his presence up toward the front now. That 32 machine of Seth Gruber.
Yeah, currently finds himself in about 10th there. 5th car in the outside lane behind Ryan Decker, Maxwell Caldwell. The 74 of Robert Jordan. And it looks like the 03 of Brandon Paul. Then Seth Gruber now scored in the 9th position. And Ryan Decker's going to get a nice shove out to the lead there towards the end of the backstretch. We'll see if he can get that lap led at the start-finish line. As of right now, Ryan is one of our highest climbers, up 7 spots as he makes his way to the lead and should be able to get that lap led and a bonus point towards the championship standings that time by as we start lap number 10. Maxwell Caldwell is currently up 9 spots. So is Robert Jordan, Brandon Paul, and Seth Gruber, all up 9 positions. So dead even tie pretty much throughout the field for a couple drivers trying to go for the Hard Charger Award at the moment.
Yeah, what am I looking at here? I'm looking at Maxwell Caldwell. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We can see the 48 of Ryan Decker is actually going to jump on a line, get his lap led, and he's going to move to the back.
As far as our highest climber right now, Maxwell Caldwell is up 9 spots. Same as Robert Jordan, he's up 9 spots. Same as Brandon Paul, he's up 9 spots as well. Yeah.
Oh, the 24 is going to jump to the outside lane.
I was going to say they were moving and jockeying for position up at the top lane.
Yeah, look like the 62 hooked the apron just a little bit, kept it straight though, thankfully, and rolling just fine. But the 24 machine of Everett's going to jump to the high lane, and he's now going to get a push from the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell before he decides to settle back in to the top spot on the bottom. Everett Lane back at the front of this field as he's going to jump back up to the top and see if he's going to grab the 94 machine once again.
I bet you Maxwell,
lined up.
Maxwell was like, man, I'm getting tired of pushing these guys to the lead. I was like, why don't you get me to the lead now?
He's pushed a few up there. pretty quiet one so far. 12 we're on working on lap number 12, 11 completed so far. The whole field now in this one single group. But I have a feeling that green flag pit stops are going to be coming just around the corner here within the next 10 laps or so.
Yeah, I'm looking at still 21 cars in the lead draft. Nobody has lost a draft. Well, that's until the pit stops come.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet so far. There's not a lot of urgency. A couple guys trying to get up to the front there. The 62, 24 trying to get to the front. 94 obviously making a good push to get to the front. Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie kind of hanging out there from their good starting position, their good qualifying positions, and just riding in that inside lane, waiting for that first caution to come out. Gary Jenkins as well there in the inside lane, just kind of hanging there, enjoying that great qualifying effort, and a little bit of snaking you see there as we look down the backstretch as the one car's going to shoot all the way out of line, try to take the chicane, and not quite, but he is trying to find a hole to get back up in line. Who is that back there?
Oh, thank God those guys made enough room for him to get back up there.
Yeah, that was Jerry
nice.
Bergeron trying to get a spot there. Got shuffled out of line to the inside. Tried to take the chicane for a second there, thought better of it, I guess, and got back up on the track. And that's going to add a little bit of separation to the pack there as that slows him down a little bit. I believe that's our first start for Jerry here on Thursday nights, at least for this season, in that number one machine.
Yep. Still 2x2. Not really much going up the front right now. Just I guess trying to get settled in. Just waiting for about 6 laps, and they'll be pitting here shortly. And my mouse just died again.
Riding on board, you see the hands here of Ryan Decker in that 48 machine in the thick of the battle in the middle of the pack here. See his speeds are over 180 miles an hour in the corners and over 190 down these straightaways. There is a lot going on at a moment's notice in these Xfinity Series cars, and these sim racers are doing everything they can to handle these cars, as Daytona definitely a more abrasive, probably the most abrasive surface that we have for a super speedway style track. And towards the end of the run, a little bit of tire wear, not quite a ton, but enough to maybe consider taking maybe 2 tires later on in the race. But we'll have to wait and see how that pit strategy falls out.
Yep, I think I was getting ready to say Max has finally got a window where he can get himself to the front as Maxwell Caldwell takes the lead, come down the front stretch here. Boomer?
Yeah, he is going to grab the top spot just ahead of Everett Lane now in that Oops All Berries Cap and Crunch 94 machine. A good run for Robert Jordan and Brandon Paul, as Robert Jordan's actually going to get pushed out to the lead, so very short for the 94 machine, as the 74 machine is going to make his way. We've got the Dr. Pepper and McDonald's machines. It's a bit of a cola war we got here at the front. Coca-Cola on the inside, Dr. Pepper on the outside, and it's going to be Brandon Paul getting that lap led.
That's good. That's real good. Ooh, it's getting a little bit tight up there toward the front.
The 03 of Brandon Paul grabbing first lap led of the night in the 03, getting a push from that 32 of Seth Gruber. Robert Jordan there working on the inside lane, being pushed by the 94 machine of Maxwell Caldwell. Everett Lane still finds himself there in the bottom lane. There's a little bit of a shuffle there. Brandon Paul is going to find a hole, make the hole, and slide it in there. He's going to have a spot on the bottom as the 74 drifts up just a little bit into Seth. No harm, no foul. They're able to continue on, but it looks like they're trying to split that 74 machine 3 wide almost. Did not quite work out, and we're back settled at 2 wide.
That was a little hairy moment for me. Now I'm interested to see how well these two fare well each other, the 510 and the 32.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. The 510 of Rick Sanchez giving a great push to the back of the 32. Hoping to see if they both can get down here.
Oh,
Not quite.
he was
The
almost
32 is going to
clear.
get there.
Yeah.
Almost
He
both
was.
of them got clear, but Brandon Paul surges ahead as they enter the corner there. Inside line having a sharper radius around and a shorter distance around. And able to get back there to close that hole so the 510 cannot get down. Everybody in that outside lane pretty much trying to do what they can to get to the front of the pack so that they can get down to the bottom lane to make their pit stops here in the next couple laps. Or they're just trying to stay out one lap longer than everybody else and just kind of hanging out and waiting for the inside lane to break off and make their pit stops here, as probably expecting to see that in the next 1 to maybe 3 laps or so, right, Matt?
Yeah, probably about 1 to 3 laps. These cars can probably typically go from 20 to 22 laps, depending on saving here. I watched Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie go to the top side. They're just kind of hoping to gain just a few more spots before they have to pit, or they're encouraging some of these other drivers to pit, and they're going to go 1 extra lap.
Have to wait and see how it unfolds. As of right now, and it's settled down for a moment here. Seth Groover finds himself on the inside lane, being pushed by the 03 of Brandon Paul. Rick Sanchez to the outside, with Jerry Bergeron pushing his number 510 Ford machine. And 3 wide, it's going to be down the backstretch. The 88 and the 071 teammates are going to try and get the high lane working for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, like I said, like I tried. Maybe Richard might go to the top and probably catch on the Gabe here. I have no idea. Probably not. He looks like he's going to hold his position right in the middle. Yep, 3 wide down going entering turn number 1 here.
Gabe Butler surges ahead there with the push from the 071 machine. Going to try and get around.
Oh, reach Rick right out to dry. He's going to fall back like a rock here.
Yeah, ooh, a little bit of side there. Ooh, the 03 goes around.
Oh, he saves the car.
Saves the car.
Oh, no, Everett Lane's around, too.
Everett Lane gets a shove, and he's in the inside wall. And we stay green at the front of this pack, but let's take you back to see what happened to Everett Lane here. By the time we get a good view of it, he is already careening towards the inside wall, so we're just going to rewind that just a second here, if you don't mind. And we'll try and get a nice slow motion view down the backstretch and see if we can see. So you see the 03 here already sliding. And it looks like there's a little bit of a checkup here. Oh, the 62 machine just gets to the back of the 24, not quite lined up. Wasn't sure if he's trying to go for a push and sends the 24 of Everett Lane for a spin. Brandon Paul able to keep it off. But we do still stay green, so we'll jump back to that now.
Stops.
Yep, pit stops are coming this time by. Most of the field's going to be coming down this time by. Rick Sanchez leading that pack. Seth Groover, Maxwell Caldwell, Robert Jordan, Les Levy, Jerry Bergeron all in this group. About half of the field or so in this time. That's going to leave Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie here, like you mentioned, trying to stretch that pack, that lead. They are by themselves, just the 2 of them. It's about a second back to Ryan Decker there. And they're trying to create a little bit of separation. We'll have to see where they net out as far as the rest of the pack and everybody in that first pack, that pit. We'll see if they come this time by here on lap 23. And they will come down the rest of the field.
A great pit stop coordination between the 510 and the 32. And the 94. Ooh,
a little bit of contact there. The 28 goes around, the 55 goes around contact in the back as well. For Bob Fitzgerald? No, not quite. Who was... Bud Steele, Jack Walls. I'm trying to figure out who that was that went around. It might have been Charles Johnson that got sent around there. But that is going to hurt them. We're going to pick back up with the cars on track, as you're going to see Rick Sanchez now being pushed by the 32 of Seth Groover and Maxwell Caldwell in the picture only about a half a second back. So this is going to be a pack that we will see form. We'll have to wait and see. Jack Walls is actually able to get out ahead of the field with Gabe Butler just behind him and Eric Laurie behind those two. And as they get up to speed on the racetrack, it looks like the 510 of Rick Sanchez and the 32 of Seth Groover are going to have plenty of momentum along with the 94 machine to be the lead pack. We'll have to wait and see if, as they get up to speed, if Jack Walls, the 88 of Gabe Butler, and the 071 of Eric Laurie can catch these guys or not. But as of right now, it is Rick Sanchez at the point.
Oh, I'm looking at pit road. I'm still seeing Ryan Decker on pit road. Maybe a penalty there. Just that's pretty unfortunate for him. He was running in the top 5. Hope he can get back out there and get his lap back.
Yeah, still 1 minute and 25 seconds there. Everett Lane has rejoined the track. He is about a lap down. We're going to be fairly soon. All by himself. Brandon Paul also by himself in the field. Has kind of seen most of the field mostly stretched out here. Carl Lingle within about 4 seconds here. We've got 3 drivers here. We've got Rick Sanchez, Seth Groover, Maxwell Caldwell, and we've got a group of 2 of Jack Walls and Gabe Butler who will catch up to this lead pack. Eric Laurie, who should be able to catch up to them as well. Another second back is Corey Buskirk in the 998 machine for Violence Girl Racing. He's got Robert Jordan behind him, Les Levy, and Bob Fitzgerald all inside the top 10. They should be able to catch up to our leaders as long as they stay organized enough. They are within a second of that pack as the 998 is actually going to drop down to the inside lane, and that may hurt quite a bit their chances to try and stay with that lead pack. Moving on further back, Carl Lingle here, about 2 seconds off the rear bumper of Bob Fitzgerald, all by himself, unfortunately, though eventually we'll probably see him slide back to this 6 machine of Bud Steele, as you see Everett Lane there in the number 24 machine. Plenty of damage to that car, so these guys are by themselves. Then we got Gary Jenkins, about 14.5 seconds off the lead with Dean Wilkinson and Charles Johnson, as we saw most of these guys getting involved in some pit road action with the 9 machine going around as they got onto pit road. Another 6 seconds back is Jeremy Osborne, unfortunately with no dance partner at the moment. The 03 of Brandon Paul, who is 30 seconds off the lead, no dancing partner as well as the 1 machine of Gary Bergeron, as Everett Lane is coming back out of the pits. 1 lap down at the moment, about a lap and a half. Nick Wing back on the track. He is also about a lap and a half down. And it looks like Ryan Decker is going to be retiring early for the evening. Not sure what's going on there, Matt.
Yeah, I know. It could be something on his end. That's unlike Ryan. Maybe some activity that's on the other side of the sim in real life. Just pretty unfortunate to see him drop out there. But meanwhile, back at the front, it is still Richard Sanchez and Seth Groover sitting there still pushing them. And right now, that the pack of 3 turned into 5, and now turned from 5 to, I think, 11 now. Wow, it's just growing.
Yeah, it looks like everybody was able to catch back up. We got a couple lap cars, or a lap car in here, maybe not. Yeah, the 28 machine of Nick Wing. First car currently 1 lap down. Actually, no, I take it back. Everett Lane is just ahead of this pack, so he will be also in the... So we'll have a lucky dog battle here that should be exciting to pay attention to between the 24 and 28 machines, assuming the 24 can hold on to this lead pack as they rumble down the backstretch here. Some shuffling around for our leaders, trying to figure out who wants to push who. The 94 machine trying to duck down low. Really squirrely there as he enters turn number 3, but was pushing Rick Sanchez. That's going to allow the 32 machine of Seth Groover to get back to the lead on the inside. And hey, we had, speak of the devil, I guess, Muff Duff chiming in that Guile was supposed to notify him.
Yeah, I just seen that.
Yeah, well, Guile himself chiming in, and he's not feeling too well, feeling a little bit under the weather, so hope you're back to 100% there, boss man, soon. Really appreciate you and all you do, and hope to see you back at it here, mixing it up with these guys on Thursday nights and in the booth on Sundays.
Oh, to answer one of the questions that came up in chat, I prefer the night races. I don't get to race that much night races here at Daytona. The grip level is pretty much through the charts here. I know the setup here is really good. Gabe Butler makes the setups here. It's it's fun to push at nighttime.
As Larry Mack would say, the nighttime is the
It's
right
the right
time.
time.
A lot of fun here. As you see the 94 machine of Maxwell Caldwell, he is going to push or get a push from the 88 machine to get up to the front. So we still have this 10-car breakaway at the front of the pack. Everett Lane and Nick Wing in the 24 and 28 machines respectively are in the battle for the lucky dog position. If a caution were to come out, whoever is ahead of the other is going to get that lap back, as the 94 machine is going to shut the door on the 510, go from the top to the bottom, and Maxwell Caldwell promoting himself to the lead. I believe this will be his first, if not second or third lap led, but if not, a bonus point should be here for the 94 machine as we cross the stripe.
Yeah, he's already led a lap.
Yeah. Gabe Butler in the 88 and Eric Lohr in the 071 trying to get to the front. There is a big wobble for the 071 on the outside lane as they're going to pick up the one machine. Another lap car.
I was getting ready to say there, Boomer, the lucky dog battle has been subsided because Everett Lane and Nickel Swing are 2 down, and now Jerry is now 1 down.
That makes it easy enough. He will be joined fairly shortly by Brandon Paul and Jeremy Osborne, who are only 4 and 6 seconds ahead of him, of this pack even. So you can see them there at the end of the trial in that last shot, but they will be catching up in just a moment here.
We got some more, pretty much more cars heading toward the getting lapped, as you would say, the 03 of Brandon Paul, he's pretty close being getting a lap down. Probably about 6 seconds from getting a lap down, and about 2 seconds ahead is the 41 of Jeremy Osborne. Now we're going to have a lucky dog battle.
Yeah, definitely. So that'll be between the 41, 03, and number 1 cars tonight. This is pretty much everybody in the field except for one pack. We're going to jump to that for just a second here as we find Gary Jenkins leading this group of about 5 cars that are about 13.5 seconds off of the lead. So Gary Jenkins, Bud Steele, Carl Lingle, Charles Johnson, and Dean Wilkinson. We mentioned the troubles for some of these drivers on pit road during the first green flag cycles. So it's going to take a yellow flag to get them back up to the front of the pack. But everybody else in the race tonight is currently in this pack. A couple of stragglers there towards the back of 03 trying to hold on to it, as well as Jeremy Osborne towards the back of it. But Gary Bergeron is going to be able to claim that lucky dog spot for now, assuming that the 03 and 41 cars are not able to get back up to this pack. It'll be a pretty easy battle for him if a yellow were to come out, but we have been cleaning green through 34 laps, working on 35 at the moment, and just about to the halfway point in this one, Matt.
Oh, yeah. Pit stops are upcoming. How long? Let's see, about 7 laps, maybe? Am I correct on that?
I believe that is correct, sir. Ooh, big move from the top to the bottom. Yep. 2 cars, the 94 and the 32, are going to go from the top to the bottom there.
Yeah, those guys have been working really well together.
That's going to put the 88 of Gabe Butler and the 071 of Eric Lohr back to the front on the outside. They're going to try and do the same thing, the leapfrog, and get back up to the front themselves. But we've got a pretty active chat here tonight, and just want to call that out again and appreciate everybody. But Muff Duff, I said you mentioned that Gail's going to sell this channel or build the channel and then sell it to Dale Jr. You know, I wouldn't mind being or Dale Jr. being my boss. So we'll see if we can grow it that much.
He'd probably tell me I'm fired the first day.
Wouldn't surprise me.
No, it wouldn't surprise me either.
I'm just kidding.
You can pay me. Pay me, Dale Jr. How about a nice Xfinity ride there, Dale?
Yeah,
I got experience.
usually you have to come with money, not get paid to do those these days. But
Yeah, I know.
we'll try. We'll get you there, Matt. If we can get Dale Jr.
Yeah,
to own we can get Dale Jr. to own the rights to Area 51 and or at least to Greenway Checker TV. We'll try and get you that Xfinity Series ride so you can do this in real life, buddy.
actually, I actually, you know what? I would prefer the trucks.
Oh, I like that. I like that. We could definitely be on the Dale Jr. podcast. Yeah, we could do. Yeah, I would be a regular on the Dale Jr. download. That'd be fun. Or I don't know. We could do the Matt and Boomer download or something. I don't know. We'll have to come up with a clever name. But yeah, we'll be one of the many. Avid,
Ooh.
ooh, big move from the 88 machine down from the top to the bottom there.
Yeah, he was
Just
getting it.
clear of the 94 machine on the inside.
Yeah, he had a little help from Eric Laurie there up in the top lane.
See the
Wow,
night?
look at that move by Maxwell up to the
Yeah.
top. I mean, that was
Maxwell's done this a few times.
wow. Yes, he has.
As soon as that first car gets clear of him, Maxwell jumps back to the top to try and get to the front spot once again. So he is going to be the guy that's either on the bottom or the first car on the outside lane, so he can get the push to get to the front. As you see, a little bit of a breakup between the 94 and the 071 as three cars are going to break away on the inside lane here. Good organization getting a good push for the 32 machine from the 32 machine. The 88 of Gabe Butler in the front of the pack. So that's Gabe Butler, Seth Groover, and Rick Sanchez lined up on the inside. The outside is Maxwell Caldwell, Eric Laurie. And I believe that's actually the 24 machine of Everett Lane, who is currently scored 2 laps down. So he's going to try and get a lap back the natural way, as the 28 of Nick Wing is also working with him as well there. Third and fourth cars in the outside lane, trying to get a lap back the hard way here.
Yeah, I would do the same thing if I was Everett Lane, you know. I remember being a race, I was multiple laps down. You know, pretty much a win for these team, for the boot knockers guys, is pretty much a win for all. And that's always been Gabe's motto there. So, Eric Laurie, Gabe Butler, and Everett Lane, and they're all going to work together. It don't matter how many laps down the other driver is, they're going to help each other.
Continuing on lap number 40 here as we work through the field. The number 94 machine finds himself in the outside lane, still hooked up with the 071 of Eric Laurie. And the 24 machine of Everett Lane to the outside there as well. Gabe Butler still controlling the inside lane of this race with Seth Groover and Rick Sanchez lined up there behind him. This is a pack of the top 10 drivers plus Jerry Bergeron, who is 1 lap down, as well as Brandon Paul. And that is the battle for the lucky dog spot that you see towards the back here. Jeremy Osborne is in... still finds himself all by himself out on the racetrack, unfortunately. But Everett Lane and Nick Wing also in the battle. So we've got this front pack with most of the cars, are all 10 of the cars in the lead lap, 2 cars 1 lap down, and 2 cars 2 laps down at the moment.
That's Dale's brother.
Yeah, so we got we got Muffed Off, or Jamie. He's chiming in there. He says our podcast, Matt, is going to be the Daily BM. What do you think?
No,
No,
no, no,
no.
no. Get me out of it.
I don't mind it. I thought it was funny.
I'm like the insider person.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Jamie. One of the definitely one of our most active watchers or listeners here at Greenwood Checker TV. We appreciate you chiming in the chat as well. Django's got some good comments as well today, so appreciate, like I said, pretty active chat this week, and always all about it. It's a lot of fun to interact with you guys as we get to watch these guys go around at virtual speeds of up to 195 miles an hour in these Xfinity Series cars here at Daytona. But we are past the halfway. It is lap 43 right now, and we are probably within 3 laps of our next set of pit stops, within 1 or 2 maybe even here, Matt.
Yeah, pit stops should be here very shortly. As right now, I'm seeing the active in the chat. It looks like some of these cars are coming down pit road. Probably this time.
They will
No,
prove you
they
wrong,
are
it looks
not.
like.
Maybe I misread.
Hard to see the virtual hand go out the window because there really isn't any way to signal that from a visual standpoint. But obviously, a lot of drivers active in the chat to say, "Hey, I'm pitting this time," and letting you know, "Hey, I'm gonna go. Don't try to run me over," or just making everyone aware as they come down the backstretch, letting everyone else know when they're gonna be pitting. We'll have to wait and see. So during our first set of pit stops, we had about 10 cars break away, and it looks like only 3 are going to be taken this time as the 510 gets a little squirrely. The 94 gets very sideways himself, and he's going to lose a lot of speed here. So it's going to be the 32 of Seth Groover and the 08 of Bob Fitzgerald, who is around. Brandon Paul and the 03 machine is going to be on pit road as well, as some of the pack. That second pack are going to pit this time. Bud Steele, Charles Johnson, and Dean Wilkinson in this time.
Yeah, I was hearing over the radio. It looks like the 94 may run out of fuel coming out here. He was trying to work his way to the bottom of the track, and as you know, in Area 51, we don't allow people to pit from the second lane because unfortunately it causes accidents. But luckily, he was able to make down pit road this time. He really didn't lose a lot of track position time, so that's good.
Love to see the fireworks as they
We got to
downshift.
spin
Oh,
on the
spin!
one car.
Jerry Bergeron is down and around in the grass.
Yeah, too much rear brake in the car.
Yep. Gabe Butler on pit road first there of that lead pack. 510 of Rick Sanchez. Love to see the fireworks as you see as they slow down. The fireworks of the mufflers as they come down pit road. You see them backfiring as they get down there. It's such a pretty view at night to see all these cars on the racetrack. And we'll see. So we're gonna pick up Seth Groover now, all by himself. Unfortunately, definitely gonna be a detriment without any drafting help.
Looks like we're having trouble down during the backstretch here. Looks like the 08 was spun it, trying to stay on the bottom of the track, and the 55 was right behind him. Just a little bit of incident there.
Yeah, we see Robert Jordan also going off track here. See if we can pick up that from a quick replay. Not sure what happened there. We'll play it live. Oh, he slid, went in the grass after he came out of pit road. And then spun it around. Unfortunately, that's going to be tough. Yeah.
And that's really easy to do with you're not changing your tires.
Yeah. The moment for the 998 as he comes off of turn number 4. A little sideways there. Big push from either the 62 or the 24, not quite sure. But this whole pack now is jumbled up. We're going to have to catch up on some of this action here, Matt. So this puts Gabe Butler at the lead. The 510 of Rick Sanchez right behind him. Jack Walls is in this group as well, and these guys are battling for the lead first through third at the moment. You'll see there Jeremy Osborne is going to be the first car, I think, 3 laps down now, as he's towards the back of this pack. They have to go about a second and a half or more back to Les Levy as he is pushing the 2-lap down car of Everett Lane in front of the field, or in front of this pack, I should say, with Corey Buskirk and Eric Laurie. Just Corey Buskirk and the lap car of Nick Wing in this pack. Another 2.5 seconds back is Eric Laurie and Maxwell Caldwell, as well as Seth Groover. So Seth
Yeah.
able to get back to some drafting help here, thankfully, in the 8th position. Charles Johnson by himself, unfortunately no drafting help at the moment, in the 9th position. 10th is going to be settled by Gary Jenkins at the moment with Robert Jordan, so some drafting help for him. Carl Lingle, 34 seconds off the lead with Dean Wilkinson. As man, Dean's definitely had some tough luck getting onto to pit road with some of the groups that he's had to pit with. Bob Fitzgerald here in the 08 by himself, and Bud Steele another 6 seconds behind that, so 42 seconds off the lead here by himself. And then we've got Brandon Paul, who is over a lap down to the field, not able to catch up to that lead draft, so he is going to have to find a drafting partner before he potentially goes 2 laps down. We mentioned Everett Lane towards the front here. Jeremy Osborne also towards the front, and Nick Wing in this same group here that are just a few seconds behind our leaders of Gabe Butler, Richard Sanchez, and Jack Walls. And that is our catch-up after green flag pit stops, Matt.
Yeah, that was what a series of turn of events there. A lot of little miscues. A lot of people gambling with no tires here. That's the risk you take there, Boomer. When you don't take, I'm really thinking to say if you don't take 2 right side tires, I really think that, excuse me, it's going to hurt you coming off pit road. From experience, from my standpoint, I really think you lose time.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes and if handling plays into that factor at all, but we've got probably one more set of pit stops before we get to the end of this one, as the 88 machine of Gabe Butler continues to click off lap sled. He's getting to a point where I think he is at probably getting close to the most amount of lap sled so far in this one. Rick Sanchez up there as well. Jack Wallace finds himself, had a great second pit stop here, finds himself at the front of this pack, as Les Levy and Corey Buskirk, our top 5, are now joined together in this pack with us, as you see in the top of the ticker. We are now going from counting up to counting down as we are in the final third stretch. Final 25 laps to go in this one.
I think that was a great move by Maxwell Caldwell to have Seth Groover push, because he could be arguably the best pusher in the field right now, but I'm missing a certain somebody, but I'm not going to mention any names. I think is the best pusher that I've seen, but he's not here tonight. I'm not gonna hex his name. So, yeah, let's see if they'll catch up here. I'll be watching the times here, probably the next couple of laps here.
Yeah, we'll see Eric Laurie there. Says that last lap was 0.2 of a second slower, as they are 4 seconds back, getting that push from Seth Groover. Seth trying to do everything he can. Definitely, 3 guys who know their way around the super speedways. Obviously, Seth kind of the control car of this group at the moment. The 071 of Eric Laurie just trying to hold the steadiest wheel he possibly can, and the 4 machine of Maxwell Caldwell just kind of along for the ride because he really can't push too much from that third position. Otherwise, that pretty much spells disaster typically for the guys ahead of them trying to push. I mean, look at how Michael McDowell won the Daytona 500 a couple years ago.
Hey, a win's a win.
It's true. So yeah,
that time by their lap times were pretty much dead even there.
Yeah, within about a 10th or so. Actually, slight advantage to our leaders over Eric Laurie by about 0.07 of a second, 70 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, they're gonna need a big horseshoe, a golden horseshoe, Jimmy Johnson horseshoe, to get back up to the front, or they're gonna have to have the caution to probably get back up there.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It has been caution-free so far, as we're going to be 22 laps to go this time by. And I think there's not going to be a lot of urgency. There really is only 5 drivers right now who have the opportunity to try and win this race. Les Levy is trying to see what he can do from the top lane to try and get something going, because he does have 1 lap car in between him and the top 3, as well as Corey Buskirk in the 4th position ahead of him. And Everett
Right.
there, you've seen the 24 machine is, I think, 2 laps down still. Um, yeah, still 2 laps down here as the 62 is trying to get some side draft working, trying to get up to that top 3 and see what he can do to get some track position to try and win this race here with 22 laps to go. We still have one set of green flag pit stops left here, Matt.
Yeah, that ought to shake things up a little bit. But Jack Walsh and Richard Sanchez, they have been really good on their pit stops to keep up with Gabe Butler here. We'll see when it comes to time then when if they're going to take 2 tires or no tires. That's the question.
Yeah, I think the biggest question there is just whether you have somebody who's organized with you to do the same exact thing. Because if you
Correct.
come down with 1 or 2 other cars and someone takes no tires, someone takes 2, and someone takes 4, you are not going to be lined up by the time you get off pit road. Because obviously taking full fuel takes about 9 seconds. Two right side tires takes about 11 to 12 seconds or so, and then all 4 tires takes an additional 3 seconds, up to
We're getting
15
racy
seconds.
up toward the front here.
Yeah, we got a couple cars up here. Bud Steele is a lap down now. First car 1 lap down. He's gonna try and maintain that lucky dog position as Les Levy has finally made the top work. He is gonna be at the top spot down the back straightaway. We'll see if he jumps down ahead of the 88 machine of Gabe Butler here to take that spot away, but he's gonna stay up there towards the top for now in that number 62 Maker's Mark Chevrolet.
Damn man, that paint job's making me thirsty.
Always.
Always like to have a Guinness and just lead about oh a lot of laps.
Yeah, we had for a second there we had the Cola Wars at the front of this one. Now I guess we kind of have the liquor slash beer battle, battle of the beer wagons or the whiskey wagons, whatever you want to call it, I guess. But the Guinness 88 machine of Gabe Butler still holding strong at the front of this one, getting close to probably cementing his name for the extra bonus point for the most amount of laps led on the evening. Is Rick Sanchez patient enough to just simply push
Uh,
him around the speedway?
Breaking news: we got pit stops.
Do have pit stops coming up here fairly shortly. Oh, the 41 way to the inside. The
Save
998.
it.
Oh, wow. A
Go,
lot of
go, we
action. The
gotta
62
go.
is going to get into trouble, hit the inside wall. The 510 of Rick Sanchez.
And
Caution
we
is
have
out. Oh, my gosh.
wow.
I think we
I've
missed a little bit of action there. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that was. I think that was a little bit of miscommunication between the drivers there.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's see if
I
we
have to go
can.
replay that.
Yeah, let's see if we can real quick here see what actually happened between some of these drivers. So you see here, okay. So there is the action where the 998. We're gonna rewind this just a little bit. We'll catch you up to some of the other action here, but we're gonna rewind this for a second here and get a better camera angle because we saw the 41. I saw him sliding off of turn
Yeah.
4. So we're just gonna back this up as much as we can, and we're gonna go to the spotter view. We'll go to the spotter view here. The 41 touches the apron that we saw, and that's what got him real loose off of turn number 4. You can see that upsetting the car and taking the weight off of the left rear of the car, getting that off the ground. The 83 is going to get into the back of the 41, and as he slides, that's not going to help. The 41 is going to start to slide towards the inside wall, which we saw.
Hmm.
And you'll see here the 62 is going to try to get down to pit road. A couple cars are going to try and make their way to the outside as the 998 and the 24 make contact, and that sends the 24 up into the 08, who was having a fairly decent run. The 6 machine of Bud Steele is going to get into that contact, the 83 as well. The 41 we saw coming back onto the track, and that's going to leave, a lot of chaos there as the 510 of Gabe Butler and the 510 of Rick Sanchez and the 88 of Gabe Butler were the only two able to make their pit stops. So we'll jump back live here as we have cars coming down pit road, and we will see. We'll take you back actually to the start of pit road, not to spoil that action here, as we can see starting from this point here. So you see the pace car picking up the leaders here, and Just kidding. I don't know what we're doing here. I'm sorry.
Actually, I want to mention that tough break for Bud Steele, who was running up toward the front there. He was one lap down. He was the first car one lap down there, but he was involved in that wreck, and so was the '08 of Bob Fitzgerald. They were not recipients of the Lucky Dog, but the '03 of Brandon Paul did receive the free pass and will be back on the lead lap.
Yeah, a lot of chaos there. So we saw Jack Walls there leading the field down on pit road under caution. And as we jump back, you'll see the 28 machine get out ahead of him, but he is still 2 or 3 laps down. Jumping back live, Jack Walls is still your leader. Gary Jenkins is in the second position as they came off pit road. Then we've got Gabe Butler, who is going to be having to let everybody by because he received service when pit road was closed. So that's going to put Gabe Butler and the 510 of Rick Sanchez towards the back of this pack. So everybody who just pit under yellow here is going to be promoted ahead of these two guys. Unfortunately for them. So Jack Walls is going to be your leader as he came off pit road first. I think the 28 machine of Nick Wing is going to get a lap back here. Get a basically get a wave around for the pace car as you'll see him take off around through the pace car technically there. But Jack Walls is going to be your leader as they came off pit road. Gary Jenkins came off second, so he is going to be in the second position. Charles Johnson will be in the third position for the restart. Eric Laurie in the fourth position. Maxwell Caldwell to the fourth position, and Eric Laurie your top 5. A couple cars dropping back. Bud Steele is going to be, I think, 1 lap down here. Bob Fitzgerald 1 lap down, and Nick Wing, who got the wave around, not the lucky dog, but the wave around for being ahead of the race leader. He is going to be 1 lap down as he gets back. And then Jeremy Osborne in the 41 machine, I believe, is 2 laps down. Everett Lane still on pit road, probably assuming that he will be done for the evening. Not sure if he had a fast repair or not still, but he's going to be done for, I think, the rest of the night. Before we, it's been a while since we had a yellow flag. Before we get back to the green flag action, though, let's take a quick sponsor break and hear from 4D Racewear.
4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Thank you for that word. Thank you for that word from our sponsor, 4D Raceway. Remember, they've got that code for discounts: Area 5115, Area 5115, Area 5115 on the website at 4dracewear.com to receive 15% off from the affiliate code at Area 51 here. And we are back under green on Thursday nights here in the Xfinity Super Speedway Series. Jack Walls leads the field on the inside lane, the outside lane being led by Gary Jenkins. It is a clean slate for most of these drivers who have had different issues at different times at the night. You see the 32 machine back up here, the 90 machine, the 9 machine of Charles Johnson, who had issues on pit road. It is a clean slate for 14 drivers trying to get to this race win as we are at 15 laps to go on the tower that you see on the left here, as Bob Jenkins is going to promote himself to the top of that list, and he's going to try and take away the inside lane, now going to be pushed by the 83 of Jack Walls.
Oh, look at the sit down.
Ooh, we are wrecking all over the tri-oval. Jack Walls goes around the 83 machine. Corey Buskirk looked like he came down pit road as he was involved. Les Levy.
Wow.
Let's see if we can take you back to the moment of caution there.
I kind of want to focus on Jack Walls here. I think he Oh, yeah, that was a little bit of hair in that coat. That's unfortunate there. Um,
So it's interesting. We saw the 998, the 62, and the 6 all coming to pit road there. Yeah, we saw a bit of action there. The 94, the 83, and the 74 kind of all got jumbled up on the outside lane, and that really slowed down a lot of cars. As you see, Jack Wall's getting the first initial contact. He's going to hit the 41 machine, the 510, a little bit of damage, the 30 car, the 55 involved. A lot of cars spinning through the infield. Looks like Gabe Butler in the 88 machine gets away okay. Let's go see if we can jump back and see what that view looked like for him, if we are talented enough to do that. So we can see here happening to the outside that Jack Walls and the 74 getting a little bit sideways there. Eric, we're jumping to the inside lane there. We were trying to grab a view of Gabe Butler here and see he was right in front of the action here, as you see to his outside. The 83 already up into the wall, the 41 spinning down to the grass, the contact with the 55. And Gabe just kind of able to slow the car down and make it through pretty easily. As you see all the chaos behind the field there. More big hits. Ryan Decker coming almost to a complete stop to avoid the action in the back there. And that was a quick second yellow. Cautions breed cautions. We've got our second yellow, but gives us one more chance to play a quick commercial break from 4D Racewear.
4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
We are back after our second caution there. Remember, 4D Racewear has the discount code Area5115, Area5115 for all of our fans here at Greenwood Checker TV and Area 51 for a 15% off all sim racing apparel at 4dracewear.com.
hey, I want to tell you, I just bought some shoes from 4D Racewear.
Did you
This is
really?
not a gimmick. This is not a gimmick. I swear on my life. Yeah. So I bought the 4D reactions. So that's what I was told by the owner are the best overall quality. So I ordered them. I got some gloves last year from him. They're really fantastic. It all depends how how you want. You want the full ones or do you want the ones with the short ones? It's all depending. So
Yeah, all depending on your comfort level.
yeah,
Definitely.
pretty much.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I
They got a couple different offerings for that.
yeah. So check out the site. I'm recommending getting the reactions. They're a better quality for your buck.
All right, so you heard it here from customer Matt Wagner. Definitely check out 4dracewear.com and get that 15% discount code and get some new sim racing apparel that we know that you all need for your own sim
Cha-ching.
racing endeavors. With that, though, we are 12 to go, and we'll be 11 laps to go as we cross the stripe for this restart. Control car will be the number 90 Ford Mustang of Gary Jenkins. Maxwell Caldwell, who is going to have the 32 of Seth Groover behind him, who have been linked up quite a bit so far tonight. The 90 of Gary Jenkins is going to have the 9 of Charles Johnson, who we mentioned had a moment coming to pit road, I think during the second green flag pit stop cycle, if not the first. And got a little sideways, got a little damage, but he is back into this. And a couple faces who haven't been at the front of the pack there. We mentioned Gary Jenkins at the front at the beginning, a good qualifying effort. Kind of faded there in the middle. Some issues for Charles Johnson, issues for Seth Groover falling off of the lead pack. Carl Lingle is up here in the 6th position, involved in some of the earlier incidents. The 88 of Gabe Butler and the 510 of Rick Sanchez, who had to start at the tail end of the lead lap after the first yellow for pitting while the yellow came out. They are back up here in the 7th and 8th positions respectively, but it's going to be the 90 machine of Gary Jenkins up through the gearbox. Green flag underway, right foot on the floor as they press the accelerator into the short chute before turn number 1. Side by side, away we go. Urgency really ramping up here towards the later stages of this one. We have 12 cars left on the lead lap. A few cars retiring for the evening after some damage repairs from the last caution, which took out quite a few contenders, unfortunately. But it is still Gary Jenkins here. Should be able to get this lap led with the number 9 of Charles Johnson pushing him to Texaco Haviland Ford Mustangs there that we see. As it looks like, so I'm looking here, I'm seeing Les Levy and Corey Busker coming down pit road. I'm assuming they are trying to clear pit road speeding penalties, as they have to serve a either a pass-through or a stop and hold penalty that they have not been able to serve yet because of these yellow flags.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, Robert Jordan too.
Yeah.
So they are finally able to clear those penalties and get back out on track and try to salvage the rest of what they have for the evening. This will put 10 cars in the lead lap as Bob Fitzgerald, enough damage on that 08 machine, he's not able to stay with the lead pack, it looks like, potentially. Yeah, plenty of damage to that 08. He is on the lead lap at the moment, but he is fading quite a bit here. So the lead pack at the front here. Charles Johnson now jumps to the outside in that number 9 machine, now getting a push from Maxwell Caldwell, as Gary Jenkins is going to control the inside lane. Gary Jenkins is running with the Bootnaka Esports drivers tonight, and Charles Johnson driving for TW Motorsports. So they've both got Texaco Haviland on the hood of those machines, but two different teams that they are racing for at the front of this pack. We've got 8 laps to go. The 9 machine getting the push from the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. The 90 with the Chevrolet of Eric Laurie behind him in the inside lane. You'll find Rick Sanchez just behind them with Brandon Paul, the 4th car in the inside lane. 3rd car in the outside lane is Seth Groover, as well as the 88 of Gabe Butler, who started from the pole. Carl Lingle also in the mix in this pack, as well as Dean Wilkinson, who has had a bit of a recovery from a couple rough, pretty much every green flag pit cycle he had a little bit of an issue. So glad to see him rebound and in the top 10, and has now 7 laps to try and find his way to the front, as he's going to be trying to push the 88 of Gabe Butler here. As looks like the 32 is going to kind of be set out to dry in the middle lane here. And the number 90 of Gary Jenkins at the moment at the point and the inside lane, is we're trying to split us 3 wide here at the front of this pack. See if they'll settle into 2 lanes or not down the back straightaway. Ooh, side-by-side motion. Brandon Paul gets turned and hooked. There is a lot of damage to those cars.
That's a yellow. That has to be a yellow.
Yes,
there ain't no way.
Assuming that we are going to throw the yellow here in a moment.
Are you kidding?
Carl Lingle still rolling here. Involved. Seth Groover involved and rolling. Charles Johnson involved. Brandon Paul shuffled out of line and then got hooked as he tried to get back up in the line, which caused the action there with 6 laps to go, and we are still green flag on the speedway.
You got to be kidding me.
That means Gary Jenkins and Rick Sanchez are at the front of this one with the 94 machine of Maxwell Caldwell and Eric Laurie on the outside by himself. Gabe Butler and Dean Wilkinson now about 2 seconds off of the lead. And we have a couple more drivers, Bob Fitzgerald, Seth Groover, Charles Johnson, and Brandon Paul involved, as well as Carl Engel in that wreck, who are fading back a little bit farther.
Wow.
No yellow thrown by iRacing.
Yeah, I know. That was pretty much unturn of events there. But, like I said before, Luke goes up toward the front again, contending for the win. Hopefully Richard can pull this off. I know he's my teammate and all, but the bad luck's got to end somewhere.
Pushing the 90 of Gary Jenkins at the moment. You know that the 94 machine in third is going to try and make a move. Maxwell not afraid to be aggressive in these cars. And Rick Sanchez, knowing his way around Super Speedway, is going to try and see what he can do to make himself the preferred car by the end of this one. As it's now a 3-horse race to the finish. We're going to have 4 laps to go this time by Eric Laurie. Gabe Butler and Dean Wilkinson are there. See if they can close the gap and make it a 6-horse race to the finish.
Will Maxwell pull out in front of Eric Laurie? My bet says
yes.
Yes.
We'll see if it happens here. That last lap by, yep, he's going to go to the outside. He's going to try and pick up the 071. He's going to go all the way to the outside.
He tried, but...
Look at that head of steam for the 071 and the 88 as they go all the way around to the outside. Gabe Butler ran the fastest lap of the race that last time by. He is pushing his teammate in the 071 in the outside lane with help from the 55 of Dean Wilkinson, trying to get to the front of this one. We are going to have 3 laps to go this time by as we cross the stripe. Is it going to be Eric Laurie? It's Eric Laurie clear, actually, completely of the inside lane. And
oh, yeah,
Gabe
he's
Butler,
dedicated to his teammate there. He's staying up top.
Absolutely. Gabe Butler there pushing the 071. They are sticking with each other in the outside lane, trying to see what they can do to control the rest of this race with 3 laps to go.
God, if you're on the bottom lane, what do? You got no help, just 2 cars. And all the help is up top. What do you do?
It's almost tougher when you've got a small pack and you know that there are certain allegiances to some of the drivers that are in this pack. As they're going to jump to the bottom and get ahead, they're going to try and string Maxwell out to dry. Man, they all jump down to the bottom there as the 90 goes a little bit wide, pushes the 94 up. And we are going to be... Oh, okay, the 94 is going to slide back inside here. They are all single file. 071 and the 88 machines at the front of this pack with Dean Wilkinson just behind them. With 2 laps to go this time by.
That was a moment.
Yeah, everyone trying to get back in line. That's going to definitely... we'll see... 94 is trying to get back to the outside. He's trying to side draft as much as he can towards the back of this pack. No help right now, but the 510 of Rick Sanchez is going to try and go high.
Yep, I know. You know what's coming. He has to make the move.
So we're going to get the white flag this time by the 071 being pushed by the 88 at the moment with Dean Wilkinson. As the 90 car gets a little squirrely off of turn number 4. Will the 94 and the 510 have enough in this final lap to get to the front? They've got a good run of momentum down the front stretch and into the short chute.
Yeah, they're gonna need a little help. It's gonna be really rough.
Dean Wilkinson, the 3rd car in the inside lane, trapped now. He's just got to go forward and push. Gabe Butler trying to get up, seeing to see if he can try and make a little bit of a block on the number 94 machine. They're going to hold steady to the bottom, though. The 071 getting a great push from Eric Laurie. The 071's getting a great push from Gabe Butler, his teammate. Is there going to be enough? The 94 now getting even with the 2nd car in line in the outside. Lap cars ahead of them getting down to the bottom. Seth Gruber to get out of the way of the leaders as we are going to come down to the stripe. Is it going to be enough? The 94,
no.
A little bit of a block from the 88. The 94 gets turned. The 88 gets turned into the wall on the outside. The 94 and the 88. It's going to be Eric Laurie, though, at the front of it with the push from his teammate to grab his first win of the season.
They still would have finished the same way they would have, without the wreck. Gabe still excuse me. Gabe Butler still came in 2nd, and Maxwell will fall out the podium there.
Victory celebration in turn number 1 for the 071 of Eric Laurie as he wins his first race of the season. 1 top 5 and 1 top 10 so far, but now a win or one in the win column for him as well this season. I think we're going to try and decipher some of that craziness here as much as we can and get a few of these drivers up into the booth for some interviews in just a moment, as we are going to start with third place, but we'll get a second to just get organized here. And we will start with the third place driver, Maxwell Caldwell, in a very beat up looking at the backstretch here, a very beat up number 94 machine, limping it back around to to the pit lane. Number 94 of Maxwell Caldwell coming up with the third place finish here tonight. What a crazy finish to that one. Obviously saw you trying to do everything you could, Maxwell, at the end there to get to that win. Just a couple spots short, but still a third place finish for tonight. Take us through how you got here.
Oh, well, where do we start, Boomer? We had a good green flag run there at the start. It was really, really solid. Kudos to the guys for running that long. Get to that second pit stop and really thought it through my raceway. Had to pit, and nobody called it out for a lap and a half. Nobody would give me an inch to the inside lane, which is kind of shocking in this league. I'm not saying they have to, but typically when someone's begging, like, you got to let them in there. But no one did, so made it luckily the next lap and was sputtering on pit road as I'm coming to my pit stall. Get the fuel and right sides I needed, and then from there we get the lucky yellow that caught us all back up. Had a couple crashes there, and then right there at the end, man, I had no teammates. I had none. And there were 4 boot knocker guys, and I don't know. Like, I've watched in the broadcast booth. I've raced with these guys all the time. Tired of getting beat by boot knocker guys, so I was trying everything I could to get up there, and luckily Richard Sanchez really came in there at the end trying to make it interesting, giving the push, and just a little too much there at the end. I couldn't get the lead. I think I could have got second, but man, this 94 car was fast. I mean, fast. We were able to lead some laps. We were able to run up front all night long. Just didn't have teammates at the end like I needed.
Yeah, we saw you working with a couple different people at different times. Obviously, probably mostly working with Seth Groover, it seemed like, through most of the race. But it seems like a lot of times, like, you just kind of have to get into a position with this style of racing where, you may not have teammates, at all at certain times, and you just kind of have to find someone that you can dance with to get that momentum going.
Absolutely. Me and Seth go back a few seasons, so especially when I was broadcasting some of his races and kind of giving him crap at the end, joking around with him, helped build that relationship. So he just kind of found me on track. We kind of hooked up, and we had speed. I think at one point we were one of the few tandems that could get 2 cars and clear both to the inside lane just from raw pushing, like nobody pulling out of the second lane or nothing, just pure speed. So we were even joking on the radio, like, I was like, beautiful move, Seth, and he's like, no, you're beautiful, man. Great job. Like, we were just kind of, having banter back and forth with that. So having fun with that. And then Charles Johnson got to push him a little bit. And then, I'm trying to think, my teammate just had rotten luck. He got swapped up in one of them first incidents that the yellow never came out, one of them single car spins on the back. And he just couldn't ever recover to get up there with me. But he was leading at one point, so that's good. Brandon Paul doing a great job. As a rookie, by the way. And, yeah, we had a couple dancing partners, but I love racing with Gabe. I just hate seeing him win everything. So, I mean, just wanted to give him a run for the money. Hate that he got hooked there at the end. I was thinking, man, he's going to think I hooked him. He's going to think I hooked him. But Richard just giving a heck of a push, and that was just all we could do. I mean, it's coming to the checkers. It's going to happen. Luckily, we still come out of it with third place and should keep us pretty solid in the points, I think.
Yeah, I think you came in tonight top 5, I think top 3 for sure, if my memory serves correct, but in a good position so far. Pretty close to probably having a couple other good weeks and being able to lock yourself into that championship battle for the playoffs once that comes in the next couple races or so. But yeah, I mean, assume at this point you're probably still trying to focus on getting there, but with how the season's been going and where you're at in the points right now, are you starting to plan for that playoff push? Are is there anything you're changing about the game plan as you get through the midpoint of the season here and shifting focus on trying to get into the playoffs versus trying to win the championship?
I think we'll be all right making the playoffs at this point. I think, what is it, only 2 more races after this, and we have a drop week.
Yeah.
I think that's going to make it pretty easy to get in at this point. Me and Gabe, I think, are top 2 right now in points. But he's going to extend that a little, finishing second and me third. But, yeah, not too worried about that. My main concern is I'm trying to play some of these races out here as knowing the playoffs are coming and knowing Team Bootknocker has like a cajillion people in there to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 teammates. One couldn't be here tonight. He's at the bachelor party, so shout out to them. Got a buddy getting married soon, so it's awesome. But when he gets back next week, we just got to focus on absolute execution. Got to have the team. Got to be linked together. Because I was 4 against 1 up there. You had Dean, who was kind of on his own agenda too, but we had 4 against 1. So,
Max, I would think otherwise. I think Richard was with you. Trust me. He's my teammate Monday nights. He was going to be with you.
oh, he was pushing me for sure, but I didn't know if he liked some of the racing we were doing here at the end. I felt like I was on an island on my own trying to fight those boys. But someone's got to put the fight to Team Bootknocker. That's the whole reason I jumped out of the booth and came here on Thursday nights. And dadgummit if I ain't getting ever so close to him each week. So trying to.
It's
tough.
Trust me.
But for being by myself to get a top 3 and all that, I'll take it. I hate the wreck happened there at the end, but Richard was just pushing so good, and it was just too good. And that tri-oval, y'all know how that is. You can lose it quick in that tri-oval. By the way, I know this is probably unconventional for an interview, but please tell me when y'all went back on that replay of that big wreck on the front stretch, did you see where I almost got hooked by the 83 and was able to wiggle out of that somehow? Because if not, that is epic TV right there, let me tell you, Boomer. That was crazy.
I don't know if we did see that or not. I know we saw a lot of different angles for that action, but that was definitely a pretty crazy wreck. But yeah, definitely excited to see you come home third after some of the chaos and able to get that caution and get back up there. But still a hard-earned third place, and want to roll out that red carpet for you now for any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give.
Absolutely. First and foremost, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, couldn't be here doing this each week. Getting to run with some amazing people. Even though we all wrecked at the end, I can go in that chat in a minute. We're all going to be laughing and having a good time. So thankful for Jesus for allowing me to be here, to be able to do this and blessing me with the equipment I have to do it. Thankful for you guys at Green White Checker TV. Trust me, I know how hard y'all work. And put on a great broadcast, do a great job, and Boomer having to show you again this week who the real 94 is. Just got to throw that into the broadcast too. Yeah. Thankful for Gael too. I don't know where he's been the last 2 weeks. He can still hang out even though he's got nights off. He needs to come hang out with us a little bit. So. And then just thankful for my teammates. So I had just Brandon with me tonight, but he learned. He's still a rookie, but he learned. He's coming through, and I don't know where he finished, but man, his finishing position is not going to reflect with how good he was running before the wrecks. So. Thankful for the league. Great group of guys.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. We'll see. One of these days I might have to jump in the car and show you what at least I could do on a Super Speedway too. So, or who knows, maybe we can work together, the 94 and the 94 team, have some fun out there. But good seeing you up there up front and trying to extend the battle over the cut line for the points, if maybe not the championship lead going into the playoffs. But congratulations once again, Maxwell, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Next up will be second place finisher Gabe Butler in that number 88 machine. Definitely had a few opportunities now to talk to Gabe throughout the season, coming into the night the points leader and extending that lead over the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. Definitely a lot of action and a couple different times to go back to the front. Gabe, take us through how you got to the second place finish tonight.
Well, I mean, there was a whole series of events that happened in this race. I can't remember them all, but I know there was some black flag issues and some pitting issues. So we're definitely going to have to address that as far as admins go, and just maybe make a rule for that pitting to serve a penalty thing, and hopefully we can clear that up. But I mean, the initial run on the races, there's some really good racing there. A lot of going back and forth, especially with Maxwell, and as the race progressed, it just seemed to get a little bit worse. The field kind of got broken up there for a while, but once you have teammates, again, I always put credit to the teammates, man. They'll find a way to get you back up front, or you need to find a way to get them back up front. And thankfully tonight, we're able to get Eric to win. Fully deserved it. It's been a while.
Yeah, good to see him back in victory lane, and obviously, we saw you staying committed there. Not quite enough for the 94 and the 510 on the outside to get enough momentum to get to both of you, and pretty easy win there for Eric towards the end. But you guys worked pretty hard in the middle there to earn it, and especially you, because we saw you pit. I think it was when the first yellow came out, if I'm not mistaken, and you kind of got not trapped the lap down, but you got trapped. At the tail end of the longest line with pitting under a closed pit, I assume.
Yeah, we were pitting, and then they ever got ran over, and so that brought out a caution, and there was no way we could avoid going into the pits at that point, and they closed it immediately. So it was just a drop to the end. At least it wasn't a hole, so we had to dig our way out of that, which we were lucky enough to be able to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of fun, almost more rewarding to get a chance to do that, where you get to go back to front, and kind of have to earn it a little bit harder there.
Well, it is fun. It's more rewarding, but it's also stressful because,
Yeah, true.
9 times out of 10, you got to go to that third lane and take your chances up there. So
Yeah.
luckily, we made a couple of runs up there, and we were able to get around and avoid the most of the carnage anyway.
Yeah, we saw you go 3 wide to the outside at one point there with Eric at the front, and we also saw the move. You guys, I mean, you set the fastest lap of the race with I think 4 or 5 laps to go as you were catching up to that lead pack. So definitely a lot of good pushing and a lot of good strategy, and seem to always find yourself at the front of the pack when the green flag pit cycles came through. And I mean, I guess it really seems like you guys have a lot of practice and really seem to focus on that teamwork that makes the dream work and really seems to be a success for you guys. With I mean, I don't even know how many wins you and your team have this season, but it's quite a few already, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the main thing is just to stay up there in the points and make the playoffs or the chase. And I will mention Dean tonight too. We had lost that pack after that initial wreck where there wasn't a caution there with about 6 to go, I think it was. And I was able to, let him pick me up, and he pushed his arm forward there. So big shout out to Dean there.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to ask. Definitely a big hit there that we're seeing on the screen at the replay of the finish there. Just want to make sure you were checked and released from the infield care center there before we let you go.
Yeah, they x-rayed my little toe, and it was okay, so I'm good.
Yeah, good deal. Well, congratulations on a solid night extension of the points lead, and as we get within the closer to the playoff battle, we'll hope to see you guys working for a championship. Want to roll out that red carpet now and give you a chance for any thanks or shout outs for that second place finish tonight, Gabe.
Yeah, just a big shout out to the guys we were running with tonight. We had Everett in there, Eric, obviously, and we had Gary Jenkins in. It's been a while since Gary's been around, and he had a good finish himself tonight. So, and Kevin had some stuff going on. He was able to pop in late in the race, couldn't race, but he was in there chatting with us, and so we were just having fun. And of course, Area 51 for putting this on. And of course, you guys up there in the booth, Boomer, you guys do a fantastic job as usual. Look forward to watching it later.
Definitely appreciate that, Gabe, and want to say congratulations once again before we sign off, and wish you the best.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, that will leave us with one more interview with this guy on screen, the 071 machine of Eric Laurie, grabbing his first win of the season, an eventful one at that. Kind of a quiet race at the beginning and a little bit of chaos at the end. take us through, Eric, how you got to that first place finish here tonight.
Well, the first pit stop I had wasn't the greatest, but it worked though. I was able to catch back up to the front. Uh, just tried to keep the car alive because they handled like you wouldn't believe, and they were a handful tonight. But just run as patiently as I can and just wait to see what happens after their last pit stop.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I want to ask. Mentioned the handling there. Do you think the nighttime in sim, does that really make a big difference in the handling of these cars at Daytona, or is it just the worn out surface of Daytona in general that makes them a little bit tougher to handle?
I don't think it's the uh, worn out track or anything. It's just the setup on the car. It just it's like riding on marshmallows, going straight.
It sounds like that's too easy to drive, but you guys make it look pretty easy.
Yeah, it's just when you're in between a car and you're being pushed with somebody else behind you, it just takes the handling all away.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it seems like you guys were doing okay as far as trying to get back to the front. I know we saw you and Gabe kind of go from the front to the back a couple times there, and were able to make your way up through the field. I know we talked to Gabe about it, and he kind of said that stressful but rewarding. But I guess what do you make of having to kind of earn it the hard way by going back to front to get that win?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun going back and forth. It's nice when you got teammates to go along with you and to make it more easier and fun.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like you guys have we talked about it a lot on here, but you guys have seems to be one of the better teamwork mentalities, and seems to be like that's kind of one of the keys to why I know Gabe's got 2 wins on the season, and now you've got one here tonight.
Yeah, that's that's great. About time I get one in a while.
Yeah, how long has it been since the last one? I know it's been a little bit. I mean, we've seen you in the top 3, top 4, top 5 pushing teammates, but how long has it been since your last one here?
Seriously, I don't remember.
It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it has. It's been that long.
Yeah, I want to say it was earlier this year in the first season of 2023, but I don't quite remember that far back. So
Yeah, well, I turned 60, so my memory's going anyway.
no worries, man. Well, yeah, definitely exciting to see. Seems like you guys were able to get through some of the chaos. I mean, were you kind of expecting once we got into about 15 laps to go without a single yellow that we were going to go green the rest of the way, or were you kind of expecting something to happen there towards the end?
Well, I was hoping to go green the rest of the way,
Yeah, I think
but when we had that 15 to go, it was just hang on, go for it.
yeah, you guys seem to definitely do the best at that, and able to get nose to tail and get that solid push from Gabe, and got you into the win column for the season. So want to roll that red carpet for you now, and give any opportunities for thanks or shoutouts you'd like to give for that first win of the season there, Eric.
Well, shouts off first from Gabe and my teammates. Couldn't have done it without them, and looking forward to the next race with them. I want to thank you guys too for what you guys do in the booth. We couldn't do it if you weren't here, so without each other, we couldn't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you as well, Eric, and want to say congratulations one last time, and look forward to talking to you soon, buddy.
All right, thank you. Just give a shout out to Area 51 for everything they do too.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely very appreciative of that whole team here and everything they do. So, congratulations once again, Eric.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, you too,
You
brother.
too, brother. Congratulations. Beer's on me.
All right, that will conclude the interview portion of the show. Let's bring up the race results here at the end of this one. As we saw, we already talked to Eric Laurie, Gabe Butler, and Maxwell Caldwell, our top 3 finishers on the evening. Dean Wilkinson finishing in the top 4 after trying to push Maxwell Caldwell as far as he could towards the front of the pack. Rick Sanchez it was Rick Sanchez pushing Maxwell Caldwell. Dean Wilkinson there was in the inside lane, so Dean Wilkinson comes home in the 4th spot. Rick Sanchez pushing the 94 in the outside lane comes home in the 5th spot, and Gary Jenkins there having a solid night in the top 6 for himself as well. I believe that's his first start of the season there. I think Gabe mentioned that too, but good to see him having a good showing on his first night. And Brandon Paul, the 03, the first car of that second pack, about 34 seconds off of the lead. We saw Brandon get up there and mix it up at the front of the pack, had some good opportunities and some good pushes there. Not quite able to work with Maxwell Caldwell at the end there with that separation that they had at one point, but still a solid night for the 03 Dr. Pepper machine, and good to see him there well inside the top 10.
Damn.
Finishing just ahead of Bob Fitzgerald in the 08, who was involved in a couple incidents tonight. Don't think any of his own doing, and
No,
able
not
to,
one bit.
yeah, not at all, but able to recover nicely. A little bit of luck on his side after some bad luck, as well as Charles Johnson got a little bit sideways there on pit road at one point in time, but still able to finish on the lead lap in the 9th position for the number 9. Carl Engel there. We saw him lose the draft. Not sure if that was damage related or not there at the end, but he just barely holds on to the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap in the top 10 position for him tonight. Nick Wing there went one lap down at one point in time, never able to recover. Unfortunately, he was actually 2 laps down as well. I got the waiver on, I think, under the second yellow or the first yellow, not sure, but able to be the first car 1 lap down. When Seth Groover, we saw him make some really good moves, but he's going to have to settle for 1 lap down in the 12th position. Corey Buskirk, unfortunately, getting a penalty there. It looked like that he had to try and serve a couple times as we kept having back-to-back yellows, and he couldn't. Definitely a tough night for him, but still not a bad finish in 13th for that Blind Squirrel Racing entry. Bud Steele and Les Levy. Les Levy up at the front of the pack for a good bit of the night. He's going to have to settle for Bud and him for 14th and 15th, respectively. Robert Jordan there is going to be the last car 1 lap down in the number 74 machine in the 16th spot. Jeremy Osborne is going to be in the 17th with Jack Walls, who had some issues there at the end after being up and looked like he was going to be at the front to try and make a move for the race win. He's going to have to settle for 4 laps down in 18th position. And the last bit of the grid, Everett Lane retiring early, 20 laps down in the 24 machine. Jerry Bergeron in the 1 machine, 30 laps down, and Ryan Decker retiring early as well in that number 48 machine, unfortunately. So that will do it for us here tonight at Green White Checkered TV and Area 51 for the broadcast portion. We've got just a few notes before we sign off here. Obviously, we've got more racing coming to you live next week. It'll be iRacing Super Speedway on October 26th. Then we are going to take another off week before we get back to Talladega on November 9th for the final race of the regular season. And we will drop it down to, I believe, 12 drivers in the playoffs. And we will have a 4-race shootout at the end of the season here to close out the year and crown a champion, the 3rd champion here on Thursday nights. Definitely will be a lot of action you won't want to miss here. And we'll have to give a shout out to those Sunday series as well. The trucks are they have their Super Speedway series on Sunday nights here at Green White Checkered TV and Area 51 as well. So make sure you shout out, or we shout out that league and all the crazy action that's going on, as they have the same schedule as us, the Atlanta, Daytona iRacing, and Talladega Gambit. Rinse and repeat 3 times for their season, as they'll be getting into the playoffs pretty soon themselves here. And I know Matt wouldn't let me sign off without saying something about the Tuesday series, so I'll let you go ahead and maybe plug that, Matt.
Yeah, plug my Tuesday series. Why? Well, it doesn't get broadcasted. You know, you know how much I want to get this Tuesday series broadcasted. Yeah. So last race was at Milwaukee. Actually, you know what? I have no clue where we're going next week. Look at the schedule because Matt has to make the setup. I apologize. I am unprepared. You come up. Yeah. So next week, actually, the next track is going to be Michigan, upcoming October the 24th. It's one of our great racetracks. We always have a great finish there. So if you're interested in signing up, you have about 3 races to do so. I will be closing off signups as we get closer and deeper toward the end of the season. But we are officially halfway. Um, it's been a great season so far. Um, I really, really thank you guys for some of these guys for making the league as big as it is. 30 drivers released every week. Um, we like to keep it rolling.
Yeah, definitely. Before we lost the broadcasting rights, or well, really iRacing and IndyCar falling out with their agreement there. Before we lost that broadcast, I covered the Tuesday series, and let me tell you, I'm not necessarily an open wheel guy myself, other than maybe for watching some dirt sprint car stuff. But that is absolutely a series that you need to watch if we could broadcast it for you. But if you're
Yes,
interested,
100%.
obviously as a driver, there still are opportunities to join that league, and there is a lot of great racing, a lot of great names in that Tuesday series that I wish again we could still broadcast. But nonetheless, obviously, especially with Matt here wanting to plug that Tuesday nights, and if you're a
Plug it.
racer for
If
open wheel, make sure you stop on by Area 51 and check that out in person, because that's pretty much the only way that we get to show it now.
Yeah, if you're interested, my iRacing name is Matt Wagner. No numbers. You can message me anytime. I will respond, and I will give you a nice little league invite, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so I think that'll be just about it for us here on Thursday night. For myself, Boomer Logan, and for my colleague Matt Wagner, we appreciate all of you tuning in. If you are watching the race after the fact on repeat, appreciate all the drivers that go back and watch these. Definitely helps support the YouTube page, and helps us validate a little bit to what we do here and all the fun that we get to have in the booth. And don't forget, obviously, we still got that discount code for 4D Racewear. Go to 4dracewear.com and get that area code or that discount code area 5115 area 5115 at 4D as in Delta Racewear.com. It's not 40 Racewear, it's 4D Racewear.com to get 15% off all of your sim racing apparel needs. So I think with that, I think we've successfully plugged everything that we need to plug, Matt, and we will
Plug
sign
it.
off and say good night and take care, everybody.
You too. See you, everyone.